You know what? Let me put a link up here. I haven't did this. Now I gotta go add it. What's up, Tim? Diddy attorney should have asked Cassie, did she have orgasms at the majority of the freak offs? I guess you could ask that. I'm pretty sure she did, bro, because I think we was on I was on one of my friends' podcasts the other day and we was talking and I'm sure she did, especially after all the drugs that they was taking, being so high. I don't know if y'all ever did anything like after because I used to smoke weed. I mean, yeah, you can just imagine that was just some weed. So if they on these other drugs, like what was they taking, ecstasy and shit like that, so you can just imagine what they was into on that, especially how she was feeling. You heard some of the text messages; she was encouraging some of this stuff. That's why I really haven't absolved her. Like I haven't absolved Diddy of anything wrongdoing. I think he was kind of trafficking her because if she was with all of these prostitutes and these male escorts, that's a form of trafficking, especially when you're going state to state. She was complicit, but at the same time, I think she kind of got wrapped up in something that she really, I ain't gonna say didn't know, but she kind of got groomed. We was talking about this also because she started young. She met him when she was a teenager, I think. They started dating when she was like 20. So she was just into this whole lifestyle. They was taking these drugs, all of this stuff. So when it comes to her involvement in this, I don't just completely just disregard that she did any wrongdoing. I think she really enjoyed it from per some of these text messages. She was asking to be involved in other freak offs. She wanted to do it frequently. It probably came to a point where she just didn't want to do it anymore. And it was probably a point where she was doing it just because it was Diddy, her boyfriend. So maybe she thought she was making him happy by doing all of this. What's up, Joseph? Tim says her husband likely going to divorce her. I don't see how he can kiss her again without thinking about her testimony. I don't know. I'm pretty sure she already told him a lot of this stuff, but they said he got up and walked out at one point. Now I know for a fact she didn't tell him everything because she know as a man what that would do to him. And if she did lie to him, he's gonna put two and two together if he's sitting in this trial. If she says, well, I really wasn't involved and he forced me to do this. In the back of his mind, if he's listening to these messages and going off what she said, he's gonna be like, I think she lying. He gonna look at her different. I don't care what you say. As a man, you know your woman. And when you hear certain things or when other things arise, you may not say nothing at the time. You may just let it go. But you're going to have thoughts in your mind, especially if you really got feelings for her. But I'm sure she told him some of the stuff that went on with Diddy, but I know she didn't tell him everything. You just know she didn't. She didn't tell him like she told the jury. No, you're right. You're right on that. She didn't tell him like she told the jury. You're right. She didn't tell him. She didn't tell him everything. I know she did. But I'm pretty sure she told him enough. He probably had a good idea. You know how we are as men. If she say she was doing freak offs, and if you be like, well, did you do a threesome? And she say no, you're gonna be like, get the fuck out of here. You may not say it right then and there, but you're gonna be like, man, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You was doing threesomes, foursomes, you was eating pussy, you was playing with dildos, you was doing everything. I even had a girl tell me that was I looked at her a certain way until she told me that she had a threesome with some guy and his wife from their church. I definitely looked at her different. I didn't say anything at the time. I didn't say nothing, but in my head, the relationship was totally different after that. I was like, "Oh man, you a you might be a pass around because if you'll do that, what won't you do?" I could have been just exaggerating it in my head, but I don't think so. And I think a lot of men think like I do. Because we know how women lie, especially about their body count. They quick to lie about body counts, right? What's the rule? You add like times three. If she say five, you just it's about 15, 20. She's lying. Nobody ever believes a woman when she tell you, oh, I just been like, depends on the age. If you meet a girl and she like 26 or 27 and she say like 4 or 5, you're gonna be like, fuck out of here, man. Cause you're gonna go off the way she looks, how many friends she has, how many people she knows. If she's like somebody who knows a lot of people, fuck out of here. Everywhere you go, people know you. Mm-mm. The male escort said Cassie asked him to R. Kelly her. I don't think she told her husband that part. I don't know. She probably didn't. She probably didn't. But then again, maybe he did. I mean, it's like he couldn't have known. Well, I would think he would know that she was with Diddy. I mean, how could you not have known that? Your girlfriend is Cassie. And we always heard about all of the stuff that Diddy did prior to this coming out. So it's not like we don't know. He had to have some kind of idea. If you know a chick from your city, whoever she's been with or whoever she used to date, you got an idea who your girl is. If your girl was dating the local drug dealer, you got an idea what type of chick she was. If she was dating a nigga who was messing with a lot of chicks, you got an idea who she is. That ain't even in question. I might have to take these earbuds off so they can hear on my phone over here. I'm gonna play this clip, and then oh yeah, I'm gonna play this clip, and then if y'all want to hang around, you don't have to. I'm uh I'm gonna read the transcript. I'm gonna read what happened in court today. I'm gonna try to read a majority of it, the whole testimony. So it shouldn't. It should be fairly easy to keep up with, but I'll do what I can. If y'all want to ask questions, leave it in the comments. If I'm on my phone and I'm on my computer, so just leave it in the comments. I'll read your questions. I'll put the link. If you want a link to join me, you want to come up and speak about this case or what your thoughts is, you can tell me you want the link. If you don't see it in the chat box, I'll send it to you and you can come up and speak. Cassie and Diddy are disgusting. Yeah, in a way, I agree. Because I'm not into stuff like that. I'm more of a one-on-one type person. Some people would call me boring, but I don't care. I'm not into sharing somebody I'm with. I'm not into that. I don't care whether it be another woman or definitely not another man. But I don't want to share. I don't even care if it's with a woman. I'm not sharing what's mine. I'm just not. You know, and I'm not. I ain't the type of dude to mess with a bunch of chicks at one time either, because I don't got time for shit like that either. So whatever. I'm gonna play this clip and then I'll read the transcript.
You fill us in on what has happened so far with the much anticipated cross of Cassie Ventura.
Well, hi there, Ted. Yes, earlier, Cassie did ask for a short break. She is back on the stand right now. But before we came back from the break, she was standing there waiting for everyone to make their way into the courtroom. And she was holding something in her hands, and it appeared to be a rosary. At least it was beads of some sort. And she was going along the beads as if you're saying the rosary. So she was standing there. She has on a black blazer that's kind of like a tuxedo-looking blazer, but she's holding up pretty well today, seems to be in good spirits, and has been kind of chuckling at times on the stand, even in an exchange between her and defense counsel when they were talking about how she was going to be reading communication messages between her and Sean Combs. In regard to Sean Combs, before they came back from that break, he was conferring a lot with his defense counsel, but as soon as Cassie got back onto the witness stand, he was sitting back in his chair very relaxed, just hands clasped in front of him and listening. At one point, he did start conferring with his counsel, when some communications were being brought up on the screen. We do have a bit of the testimony that we can put up for you on our screen right now. We can talk about it, what was said so far inside that courtroom. So, as I was mentioning what Cassie was wearing, this is what Combs is wearing. He has on a beige sweater, white collar, and gray pants. So he's kind of had the same kind of look every single day. His three sons and mother, they're in the courtroom. Combs tapped his chest when he made eye contact with them. And then Ventura, as I was mentioning, wearing a black tuxedo-style jacket with a light blouse, her hair tied back into a ponytail. And in regard to some of the testimony, let's take a look at that and what was said so far on the stand. So Ventura read loving emails between the couple from 2008. Combs said, "I'm a very lucky man. I love you. I miss you. I can't wait to hold you." And Ventura responded, "I'm a very lucky woman. I miss you so much. I'd fly wherever you needed me to, whenever. I love you." So that's an example of one of the things that was said today in court in regard to her testimony. We do have another one we can put up for you in which she was testifying that she wanted more time and attention from Combs. "I haven't talked to you at all. I know you can take 3 minutes out of your day to talk to me, and you don't even try. I'm really hurt by the way you deal with me. I don't need your money. I need some attention. I am thankful, but I can pay for these things myself."
And they was asking her these questions and showing these emails and these text messages to prove and debunk the fact that she was saying that Diddy coerced her, or he was like forcing her to do all of this stuff, or persuaded her in some type of way to do any of these acts, and she was doing it all against her will. So they asking these questions to show the jury that no, she was actually just a willing participant. She wanted to be a part of these freak offs. She wanted to join in. She actually was encouraging the freak offs. She was saying in some of the texts that she couldn't wait to do it again.
And Ted, I just walked from outside of the courthouse, and some of the other things that she was just testifying to are getting pretty graphic in nature. So I'm not going to be able to read everything on camera. But one of the things that's going to be important, and what defense counsel is picking up on, is an email. So when these emails or BlackBerry messages are being discussed, she is addressing them to Puffy or Pop Pop. That was the nickname that she had for him. And she told him that in order for me to be more open, I need to feel like you're my husband, that this is the only man who will have this aggressive sexual side of me. And this is where it gets to be important, because then she says in this email exchange that in the beginning, when we were in love and we did these freak offs, she responded and she said, it felt right. So that's what she says in that email. And defense counsel questioned her about that and what she was referring to. It was those freak offs. And she said, it felt right. She said, we were in love. And then she said, I'm afraid, though, that I'm becoming just one of your girlfriends in order for you to get your fantasies off. So they are going through all of these communications, Ted, between Sean Combs and Cassie, trying to establish consent, that she was a willing participant, and in fact, sending messages to him, one of which I'm not going to read, talking about the things that she wanted to be doing in these freak-offs.
Interesting. Yeah, and how would you describe the back and forth? Is it tense? Is it aggressive? I assume Tenny Garagos is doing it, a female defense attorney. How is this going? How would you describe?
I would say that answering that question for him, because I was listening to some of it too, of people like reporting on the case. I was doing some other stuff. The attorney who was cross-examining her was actually like trying to be nice. It was he or she, I don't know what it was, but he was even saying stuff like, I can read this part for you if you don't want to read it, or take your time. It was a bunch of that. It wasn't it wasn't him like going at her, because I don't think that would be a good look for Diddy's defense, for his attorneys to be going at the victim. You know what I'm saying?
Describe it.
I think it's going well so far. It's not aggressive right now. It's not. And as I mentioned, there was a little bit of chuckle between the two of them right after she came back from that break, because how Cassie was reading the communications, I think Cassie was thinking maybe she needed to start from the top down, which seems logical, but it seems as if defense counsel was going from the bottom up and wanting her to read them. And Cassie responded, well, I just want to make sure that I'm reading them the right way. They kind of laughed back and forth, and the judge said, get to a question. So he wanted to cut off any sort of niceties that were occurring between the two of them, and he was like, get right to a question. But Ted, it's the beginning. It's just the beginning of the cross, and she's going to be on the stand for quite some time. I anticipate that it will eventually get kind of aggressive.
Absolutely. All right, Kelly Craft, thank you. We'll let you get back into the courtroom. Kelly will be with us throughout the day with updates on this cross-examination between defense attorney Anna Estevao and Cassie Ventura on the stand. This, you could argue, is going to make or break both of these cases. Kelly, thank you.
They was even trying to see how fast they could get her off the stand. I think they had some discussions with the judge to try to see if, you know, how quickly they can make this go along, because she is pregnant. I think they said she's like 8.5 months, so she's almost due. And I think they had, what do they call it when they go in the back room and both sides come talk to the judge and all of that. They did all of that. I think they did that prior to the trial. So I don't know how long she's gonna be answering these questions, but this is something serious. I imagine that she may have to endure a little bit longer, because this is such a serious case. But let me start reading some of this transcript. Okay, I'm gonna start where the judge brings the jury in. The judge brings the jury in. Combs' lawyer says, Miss Ventura, you love Mr. Combs, correct? Ventura said, I did. Combs' attorney says, for 11 years you took care of him? Cassie said, in some ways. Combs' attorney, you called him larger than life? Cassie, I did. Combs' attorney, others called him Diddy or Puff Daddy, but you called him Sean, right? Cassie, yes. Combs' attorney, you knew a version of him the rest of the world couldn't see, right? AUSA, objection. Judge overruled. Ventura in ways. That's Cassie. Combs' attorney, you kept coming back to him for 11 years? Cassie, I wouldn't say coming back. Combs' attorney, you believed he loved you too? Cassie, I did believe he loved me too. Combs' attorney, so when he cheated on you, it hurt? Cassie, not every time. Combs' attorney brings up, I'm going to just say Combs. I ain't going to keep saying Combs' attorney. I'm going to just say Combs. Combs bring up this defense exhibit. AUSA, objection, not in evidence. Judge, that's true. This is not in evidence. Combs, Miss Ventura, read it just to yourself. Why did you send this message? Cassie, to let him know I was going to dinner. Combs, what was going on when these messages were sent? Cassie, I'm not sure. Combs, what was going on in your relationship then? Cassie, it was early. We were loving. Combs, I offer it. AUSA, objection, being offered for the truth. Overruled. Combs, please read. I'm going to have to say Combs' attorney so it makes sense. Combs' attorney, please read. Cassie, I wrote, I love you. Smiley face. I'll fly anywhere for you. I love you, Cass. Combs' attorney, this 2009 email, AUSA, objection, hearsay. Judge, Combs' attorney, ask more questions. Combs' attorney, from Blackberry, what is BG? Cassie says, baby girl. Combs' attorney, what did you write? Cassie, you hungry, Pop Pop? Combs' attorney, and Mr. Combs wrote to you, we are so in love, we don't do anything else. How long had you been seeing each other's? Cassie, like 2.5 years. Combs' attorney, please read this 1364. Cassie, I haven't talked to you at all. You don't even try. You rushed me off the phone. I'm really hurt. I don't need your money. I need some attention. Combs' attorney, you wanted your special time with Combs? Cassie, yes. Combs' attorney, you testified that you told him, I love you so much, you make me a better woman? Cassie, I definitely wrote those messages. Combs' attorney, you wrote, I can't wait until we have a baby on our own. You knew that he had 6 children at the time. Cassie, yes. Combs' attorney, so now these messages about a freak off, when you say, you know, it doesn't matter to me, you mean weekend or weekday. Either is fine. Cassie, that's what it says. Combs' attorney, Mr. Combs says, maybe we can call Jules. Can you do it? Yes. Combs' attorney, this was an explicit message from you about the anticipated upcoming freak off. AUSA Johnson, objection. Judge, we would take a recess. So they took a recess after that. They came back in the courtroom by 10:48 a.m. Judge, Combs' attorney, you may proceed. Combs' attorney, Miss Ventura, this is from Mr. Combs to you. You respond with an extremely explicit message, right? Cassie, yes. Combs' attorney, this is 2 days after the planning of a freak off, right? Yes. Combs' attorney, he said, I want to see. How did you reply? Cassie, I can't wait either. Combs' attorney, you wrote, I feel like I want to fuck, right? Cassie, that's what it says. Combs' attorney, Mr. Combs says, He's reading some of the transcripts. So he's reading Sean's part, asking her questions, and she's replying. But this is Combs' attorney. He says, Mr. Combs says, I'm so horny, I can't concentrate. What do you say? Cassie, that I'll go to Dwayne Reed for candles and then set up the room. Combs' attorney, did you understand that he was going to take another video of you? AUSA, objection, speculation. Judge, Miss Estavio, that's Combs' attorney. You can move on. Combs' attorney, you ask, any pills on you? Yes. Combs' attorney, what pills were you taking then? Cassie, opiates. Combs' attorney, you deleted videos on your devices, right? Cassie, yes. Combs' attorney, what did you write? Cassie, that I need to feel this is my husband, the only one who will see this side of me. Combs' attorney, were you afraid that Mr. Combs was only seeing you for sex in this way? Cassie, that was a concern. Combs' attorney, you still were not public in your relationship with him. Cassie, correct. Combs' attorney, were freak offs important? Cassie, integral to us. So, so far, sounds like she's just a willing participant. It just sounds like, she was still in love with Diddy, and she was willing to do whatever, and she was replying back to these text messages and being just as freaky as he was. She was just responding. She was going along with it. She didn't seem as if she was in some type of distress or anything at this point. I'm gonna keep reading. Combs' attorney, who was at your 21st birthday party in Las Vegas? Cassie, Britney Spears, Dallas Austin. Combs' attorney, how did you get them there? Cassie, they came for Sean. Combs' attorney, you're very beautiful and charming. Cassie, thank you. It's true. Combs' attorney, who is Tommy Mottola? Cassie, a well known producer. Combs' attorney, you were an up and coming star? Cassie, I guess you could say that. Combs' attorney, after you signed with Bad Boy, things were still platonic. Cassie, yes. Combs' attorney, you had rough performance. Cassie, 106 in Park, it did not go well for me. Combs' attorney, how did he help you after that? Cassie, we did a YouTube video, he said. Everybody makes mistakes. Combs' attorney, what was wrong? Cassie, I couldn't hear myself. Combs' attorney, you were dating Mr. Leslie? How much older than you was he? Cassie, 10 years. Combs' attorney, then you traveled to Miami with Mr. Combs? The flyer of the event was just a cover to spend time with Mr. Combs, right? Cassie, that's true. Combs' attorney, you had a tattoo of Mr. Leslie's initials on your body, right? Cassie, yes. So she was messing with Sean when she was supposedly with another guy, Mr. Leslie. Combs' attorney, how many tattoos did you have then? AUSA, objection, relevance. Judge, overruled. But let's keep it moving. Ventura, Cassie, three. Combs' attorney, the one on your arm? A, no regrets. Combs' attorney, Mr. Combs taught you how to do oral sex. Cassie, he did. Combs' attorney, look at this. Tell me when you're ready. Can you read it? Cassie, you can read it. It's making me laugh. It's from 2007. Combs' attorney, you wrote, I feel protected. You are sweet. Combs' attorney, you wrote, I see that Carrie is better fitting for you. I'm hurt that you think I'm malicious. You're very important to me, Cass. Cassie laughs. Combs' attorney, what were you trying to convey? Cassie, it's like a journal entry. Combs' attorney, you discussed Carrie Morgan. Did you think Mr. Combs was attracted to her? Cassie. There was a point in the very beginning. Combs' attorney. Did that complication carry on in your relationship? Cassie. Not really. Carrie was just always with us. Combs' attorney. I like to start asking about freak offs. Sometimes you wore a wig and a mask? Cassie. Yes. Combs' attorney. The general public did not know. AUSA Johnson. Objection. Judge. Rephrase. Combs' attorney. No one knew until November 2023 in the public. Yes. Combs' attorney. Fair to say his career was ruined after your lawsuit, Cassie. I can understand that. Combs' attorney. Let's read these messages Mr. Combs wrote. When are you on your period? Cassie. No, now. Combs' attorney. What do you be thinking about when you horny? Combs' attorney. Miss Ventura, if you don't want to read the answers, I can read them. Cassie. Thank you. Combs' attorney. The O has lots of O's after them, right? Cassie. Yes. Combs' attorney. After a freak off, you'd make love with Mr. Combs? Cassie. Yes. So they would do these freak offs and then they would still have sex. Like, I don't know how you could do that. I'm not understanding. She didn't have sex with all of these people and then you gonna have sex with her. I'm not I can't do it. I just I don't understand that. Tim says she was messing with Diddy when she was with Ryan Leslie and likely was messing with Diddy trainer when she was with Diddy. Yep. I think I remember that about the trainer. They was like having reports about her messing with other individuals. So yeah, that's she was definitely messing around. It's some parts in here where I think she was kind of upset that he was messing with other women, but she was accepting it because she was messing with other guys, and she still came and was doing the freak offs with Diddy. So I think they are slowly, getting to the point where they are kind of debunking that whole thing that she wasn't even a willing participant. She was a willing participant. But like I said, I still think it was some wrongdoing on Diddy's part when it comes to his involvement with Cassidy. I think it was a little bit of grooming. She probably felt like I had to do this at one point till she started getting a little bit older and started realizing like, nah, he was just using me for sex. So yeah, Cassie got to be a nympho. She is definitely a nympho. She is definitely a nympho, Tim. No doubt. Let me get back to this. Reading this. It says Combs' attorney. Your period, Mr. Combs is asking you when you're on it, right? Cassie. Yep. Combs' attorney. He's asking in the context of when to meet up and have sex. Cassie. Looks like it. Combs' attorney. Sometimes you watched him with a female? Cassie. 2 or 3 times. Combs' attorney. Did you talk with Mr. Combs about the swingers lifestyle? Cassie. That no one talks about it? Combs' attorney. Were you keeping freak off secret from your friends? Cassie. Yes. Combs' attorney. His assistants help him? Cassie. With everything. Combs' attorney. You would remember if an assistant came in during one of your sessions with an escort. Cassie. Not necessarily. I was high. Combs' attorney. So you don't remember much? Cassie. I had my privacy invaded a lot during that relationship. Combs' attorney. This is from July 2012. You say to Mr. Combs, I'm horny and bored. This was after a freak off, right? Cassie, there are a lot for text here. Said to be 25. Oh, this is just they're giving you some context. Said to be 25 pages where will defense exhibits ostensibly entered into evidence be available. I guess they just give you a little context. AUSA Johnson. I would ask that the witness be allowed to read the entire document. Judge, how many pages? Combs' attorney, 8. AUSA, we don't have a copy for the witness. Combs attorney, we'll show it on the screen. Combs attorney, you said Mr. Combs often put you down, but he also sent you encouragement and called you a queen, right? Cassie, yes. Combs attorney, what would trigger Mr. Combs' incessant calls to you? Cassie, anger, doubt about where I was. Combs attorney, if he suspected you of cheating, he'd call you incessantly? Cassie, that was one of the reasons. Combs attorney, because he thought. AUSA, objection. Judge, that's sustained. Combs attorney, do you believe Mr. Combs has good taste? Cassie, I think he does. Combs attorney, he's had an impact on fashion? Cassie, people like his style. Sean John. Combs attorney, did you consult with him on your look? Cassie, sometimes I got advice I didn't ask for. Combs attorney, he still ran his companies even while having all these freak offs, right? Cassie, he did. Combs attorney, what was he addicted to? Cassie, success. And then she laughs. Combs attorney, what substances? Opiates? Cassie, yes, he told me. And I saw it. Combs attorney, did Mr. Combs' mood depend on whether or not he was withdrawing from opiates? Cassie, he was more irritable, I would say. Combs attorney, what other drugs was Mr. Combs addicted to? AUSA, objection, no foundation. Judge, I'll ask if I want the grounds. Judge, sustained, rephrase. Combs attorney, what was his drug of choice? Cassie, ecstasy or MDMA? Combs attorney, opiates daily? Cassie, when he was doing them. Combs attorney, you saw him withdraw? Cassie, yes. So Diddy was addicted to drugs. He was addicted to ecstasy, MDMA. He was doing this daily. He even had withdrawals. She said he was irritable. He was moody. And when he wasn't on the drugs, it was a very likely chance of him being very irritable. So let me see if I got some comments over here. Tim says, most regular women could never do what Cassie did for 10 years. I agree with that. I do believe that. I don't know how people did, well, how she did this for 10 years if she was unwillingly doing it. I would think if somebody was forcing you to do it, you wouldn't be able to do it for 10 years. But she went along with it. She went along with it. Judge will break. Judge Miss Estavio. Where are we in your cross? Estavio, Judge Combs attorney. We have a lot of exhibits. Let me confer over lunch. Judge, non-responsive. Will you finish today or early tomorrow? To the end of tomorrow. Agnifilo. We might not be able to finish tomorrow. This is the most important witness. Judge. For months, we said this witness had to be off the stand by the end of the week. AUSA, our direct was a day and a half. Limit them to that. So Agnifilo is a part of the defense. Let me skip ahead while they're doing a bunch of talking. Combs attorney, Mr. Combs wrote to you, I want to freak out right now, and you wrote that you wanted it too. LOL, me too. Cassie, I texted more than that. Combs attorney, but you did text that to him. Mr. Combs wrote to you, Jules is available if you are into it. Combs attorney, you could have said yes or no, and you said love you. Cassie, there was no yes or no. Combs attorney, bring up B420 on page 2. Mr. Combs wrote, "Do I have your permission to set up freaky fun?" You wrote, "Ovulation." Cassie, yes. Combs' attorney, "Here, what do you say?" Cassie, I asked, "Which hotel?" I must have called him in between. I don't want to assume anything. Combs' attorney, he said montage. You said you could also go to Pleasure Chest. What would you get there? Cassie, sexual supplies. So she went somewhere and got all the toys and the lube and all of this stuff. Dark Kent says, I'm even more convinced Diddy is getting off for this. Maybe just get a DV charge or something. You think so? Y'all could be right. I'm not saying you're wrong. You might be right. You might be right. He may get off, bro. Because if they can prove that she wasn't a victim, he's gonna get off. And then you got to keep in mind, it only takes one juror for him to get off. Because it's got to be unanimous. Everybody got to say he's guilty. If one person say that he's not guilty, then Diddy gets off. He walks free. So that's not hard. You're not trying to convince the whole jury. You're just really trying to convince one person out of the jurors. That's all you're trying to do. Combs' attorney, what supplies? Cassie, lubricants, outfits. Combs' attorney, he says, have fun, impress me. You say, okay. He says, can we kiss a lot? What do you say? Cassie, yes. Combs' attorney, you wrote, I left the iPad. Cassie, I don't know whose iPad this meant. Combs' attorney, Mr. Combs wrote, I've been there right after my session. This was in June 2017. Do you remember arguments you were having at that time? Cassie, not specifically. Combs' attorney, here you say the game starts at 10 p.m. No break in character to 8 a.m. Cassie, this was a game a friend of mine told me, a way to rekindle your romance. Combs' attorney, by doing something different in the bedroom? Cassie, it's a whole getting into character thing. Combs' attorney, Mr. Combs says, let's get some outfits and go to a sex club. Combs' attorney, Mr. Combs wrote, surprise package coming from out of state. Why can't I reach you? What do you say? Cassie, I was getting my brows done. Combs' attorney, did you come to know Mr. Combs was leaving to freak off to go see Kim Porter? Cassie, yes. Combs' attorney, how did you find out about Gina? How did you feel? Did it upset you? Cassie, yes. Combs' attorney, it prompted arguments. Cassie, it did. Combs' attorney, and he thought you were not faithful. What were his reactions? Cassie, it was scary. Combs' attorney, Mr. Combs wrote to you, let's do something different in NYC this weekend. For your information, Dave hit me. What does hit mean? Cassie, reached out. Combs' attorney, and Daniel contacted you? Did this mean you might have a freak off? Cassie, might. Combs' attorney, he tells you you better put me on VIP vibrate alarm or something. He's frustrated you don't answer his text fast enough. Cassie, right. Combs' attorney, you tell him to come to NYC understanding there could be a freak out. Cassie, maybe. Combs' attorney, you also saw the Book of Mormon? Cassie, yes, laughs. Combs' attorney, masked pleasure. If is that a sex club? Cassie, I would assume. Combs' attorney, he asked, are you ready for tonight? What do you say? Cassie, yes. I just have to get some things. Cassie, this is not about what I felt, right? Because you are skipping over a lot here. Combs' attorney, what did you write? Cassie, as much as you think you're Bruce Willis, you're not. Your kids were babies when we started dating. Combs' attorney, If you saw him on social media on vacation with, it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking. That's what he said. Cassie, it could be. I was 7 years in. Combs attorney. And what about this about Gina you wrote? I don't want to be a side piece, but I'll treat you as a king. Combs attorney. You wanted to be the main girlfriend. Cassie. In 2013, yes. Combs attorney. You saw social media posts of Mr. Combs with other girlfriends and got angry, right? Cassie. Can I speak? I was jealous of certain situations. Combs attorney. Did there come a time he suspected you were in a relationship with someone in the industry? Mr. Muscuddy? Cassie. Yes. Mr. Muscuddy is Kid Cuddy. Combs attorney. Mr. Combs thought it could be good for your career if you collaborated with Mr. Cuddy. I mean, Mr. Muscuddy. Ventura. Yes. Combs attorney. Why did you begin your Why did you begin your relationship with Mr. Muscuddy? Cassie. We enjoyed each other's company. Combs attorney. You were in a relationship with Mr. Combs? Cassie. We were on a break. Combs attorney. But you were still doing freak-offs with him. Cassie. Yes. So she was messing with Kid Cudi and still doing the freak-offs. She was messing with the other dude and was messing with Diddy and doing the freak-offs. So where in here was she just being totally taken advantage of? I don't see it. Tim say Diddy hoping the West African man on the jury would have his back because the two Puerto Rican jurors, Indian jurors, and white jurors are going to be on the government side. Yep. Like I say, he just need one. All he need to do is get one of those jurors on his side or to believe that she wasn't a victim and he walks. Combs attorney. After Mr. Combs found out by going through your phone, you went to see him. You knew he was upset. He previously attacked you. Cassie, yes, I thought I'd be safer with other people there. Judge, let's take a break. So they took another break. It's a lot to go. Okay, they come back. Combs attorney. Your affair with Mr. Muscuddy was only a month long, but you got a burner phone for it? Cassie, right? So she had to get a burner phone to not let Diddy find out. Combs attorney. Mr. Combs kicked you in the back? Cassie, yes. Combs attorney. This came up later in your relationship that you had cheated on him with Kid Cudi. Cassie, he brought it up quite a bit. Combs attorney. When he cheated, he said, well, you had an affair with Kid Cudi, right? Cassie, sometimes. Combs attorney. He suspected you of having an affair with another person in the industry. You were in South Africa filming. Cassie, yes. Honey 3. Combs attorney. While you were there, you saw a photo of Mr. Combs with Gina and were irate, right? Cassie, angry. Combs attorney. You blocked him and focused on the movie, right? Cassie, I tried my best. Combs attorney. Mr. Combs suspected you of a relationship with whom? Cassie, Michael B. Jordan. Combs attorney. You sent a video not only to Mr. Combs, but also to staff. Who? D Rock? Cassie, yes. Combs attorney. You sent it to them because you were angry with all of them. Cassie, I was hurt. I spent all my time with them. Combs attorney. You thought they were in on it? Combs attorney. The physical abuse. When did your father learn about it? Cassie, same time as my mother. Combs attorney. Did Mr. Combs come to Connecticut to speak to your parents? Cassie, I don't know if it was then. What? Combs attorney. Kerry Morgan knew about the abuse. Yes. Combs attorney, the eyebrows gash incident, what was it about? Cassie, didn't answer the phone and went to sleep. I was supposed to be packing for a trip. Combs attorney, he was inebriated? Cassie, I don't remember that. Combs attorney, why were you asleep? Cassie, a drink at the Abbey had something in it. I think. Combs attorney, did Mr. Combs ever abuse you while he was inebriated? Then say he didn't remember it? Cassie, yes. Combs attorney, did you feel he was not taking responsibility? Cassie, yes. Combs attorney, for drugs, you'd both go to rehab. Cassie, rehab wasn't really a thing during our relationship. Combs attorney, the freak offs were an opportunity for you to take the drugs together. Cassie, yes. Combs attorney, you went a lot to Burning Man. Yes. Combs attorney, did you ever call yourselves getting high partners? Cassie, we did. Combs attorney, did you take drugs from him without him knowing it? Cassie, yes. Combs attorney, what was his reaction? Cassie, explosive. Combs attorney, did he tell LA dealers not to deal you? Yes. Combs attorney, you told Mr. Coram that you learned only after the fact that Mr. Combs had dangled Miss Bongalin off the balcony. Cassie, I'm not sure. Combs attorney, you were on drugs? Cassie, I'm not sure. So, what did I miss up here? Did he put out the word? I'm getting sleepy. Did he put out the word that telling the other dealers in LA not to give her any more drugs, even though he was on drugs? Tim say Cassie is a pure-blooded 304. He says she's a pure-blooded 304, man. Oh man. Tim ain't cutting a no slack, y'all. He ain't cutting a no slack. Dark Kent says Cassie probably was expecting to be another one of Diddy's baby mamas and just put her on the payroll. Baby mama stipend. She invested 10 years with him. Yeah. Uh, you know what? I kind of agree with that, Dark Kent. I kind of agree with that. She was in it for the money. She really knew her role, but she didn't really want that role. She really wanted to be the top female, but she knew she was just on the roll. She wanted to be one of Diddy's baby mamas. Yeah, she probably felt like she didn't get everything she deserved. So that's when she came up with that lawsuit and hit him with that. Sure did. Combs attorney, you got a life coach for your drug use, according to this document. Cassie, I don't know who that person is. Combs attorney, you were doing a lot of drugs? Cassie, it was a rough time. Combs attorney, you tried to get into a rehab, the Golden Door. Cassie, it was a spa. There was a time I lost all sense of smell and taste and woke up in a hospital with an IV in my arm. I tried then to get help. Combs attorney, the time after San Bernardino, you learned that he had overdosed? Cassie, a very strong opiate, yes. Combs attorney, were you ever not addicted to painkillers? Cassie, we took ibogaine. Combs attorney, where did you get it? Cassie, Cancun, Mexico, separately. Combs attorney, when Mr. Combs threw you off the boat in Canes, when he accused you of taking drugs and squeezed your leg? Cassie, among other things. Combs attorney, but you still wanted to be with him. Cassie, I did. Combs attorney, switching topics. When you say Mr. Combs went with guns to find Suge Knight, do you remember telling the government that you did go with them? Cassie, no. Combs attorney, let me show you. Cassie, I did not go with them, so I don't think I said that. Combs attorney, you also did drugs with Miss Morgan, right? Cassie, yes. Combs attorney, do you recall telling the government that you did not set what he did, hitting her in the head with a wooden hanger? Cassie, I saw the hanger. I saw he was angry that I was doing drugs with Carrie. Combs attorney, this broke up your 17-year friendship with her. Cassie, it did. Combs attorney, did you tell Mr. Combs about your relationship with your new husband? Combs attorney, Miss Morgan sued you and Mr. Combs. Cassie, made a demand. Combs attorney, and you paid part of that? Cassie, I did. Combs attorney, and you haven't spoken with her since? Cassie, maybe one text. Combs attorney, that was the relationship ender, yes. Combs attorney, you would heat up the baby oil. Cassie, yes. Combs attorney, now this is from the day before the Intercontinental Hotel incident. Then they took a break. Combs attorney, is this from March 4th? AUSA with UCT time, Central time. It is March the 3rd. Combs attorney, okay, Mr. Combs refers to accessories. Cassie, for the premiere? Combs attorney, you sent him an explicit message. Cassie, yes. Combs attorney, he responded with the number of M's he wrote. Too bad you have to work, LOL. Cassie, he did. Combs attorney, you ask him, are you feeling better? Then he's discussing bodily function. Ventura, could we just clarify what time these messages are really from with the UCT Central Time? There's a stipulation on that. And then they have a document here. Let's see what we got. Tim says Diddy lawyer should have asked Cassie on a scale of 1 to 10 how good of a singer did she think she was. Bro, you staying on her, ain't you? He ain't playing at all. Boy, you ain't playing at all, boy. Combs attorney. Mr. Combs went to your premiere lunch at London Hotel. Cassie, he did. Combs attorney. Then he says, I just got out of a spiritual therapy session. Cassie, I asked, how did it go? Combs attorney. He said, it's a process. This is leading up to the hotel incident. Combs attorney. You say, baby, I want to freak off so bad. You were asked in your direct, and you said you didn't want him to ruin your premiere. Cassie, sure. Mr. Combs attorney. Mr. Combs says if we start at 7 p.m. and go until 4 a.m., you can get enough rest after. Yes. Jesus Christ. 7 p.m. Oh, that's not too bad, but that's a long ass time. Combs attorney. He's saying it be a stronger than usual freak out. Cassie. That's how I would understand it. Combs attorney. What do you say? Cassie. Carrie is her. We can't do it at my house. Combs attorney. You say that guy is sick. I'm not going to ask you what you meant. Combs attorney. So you were turning to Johnny? He was a dancer or an escort. Cassie. We hired him as a dancer, but he did what escort does. Combs attorney. Do you remember the beginning of this freak off in the Intercontinental? Cassie. Not really. Combs attorney. The drugs were bad. MDMA, right? Cassie. I have no idea. Judge. This is the judge. It's 5 o'clock. Jurors, you may go home. Do not look up anything about the case. All rise. Thank you, Miss Ventura. Well, that's the end of that. Oh, it wasn't too bad after I read through it. So y'all like me. She was a willing participant. I'm gonna stick with that. But I still don't think Diddy is. I'm not absolving Diddy. I think he did something. But Darkin says he might get off. He could get off. He definitely could get off. I could see him getting off because they are proving that she was just a part of these freak offs as much as he was and wanted to do them. So now she's acting like, oh, she's just this total victim, which is something that's real big and popular now when it comes to a lot of these women over here in America who get with these celebrities. They get involved with all of these little freaky situations, and then once their career didn't pan out like they thought it would, or maybe he didn't stand go through with all the promises that he promised her, then all of a sudden things were just foul. They coerced these women and forced them into these sex acts and made them sleep with this guy and that guy. And that's just not always the case. But now, with me thinking the way that I'm thinking about it, he, in a way, he probably should get off just based on what we know so far. This is just the beginning of the case. This is not like we've been at this for years or, weeks now. So it's just my opinion, just my speculation. So, yeah. But, y'all got anything else? It really wasn't too bad. Me reading it. I don't know. I might have to get more in depth with that. Maybe next time I won't read it. Maybe I'll just go back to playing the clips because I think that the reading probably bores people. I would think that some people might want extra details that you can only get from reading the whole transcript. But I get it. I think some people could just get bored with that and they just rather watch the clips and listen to us give our takes and kind of just go back and forth like that. I get it. I really do. So, if y'all ain't got nothing else, I'm about to get out of here because I done got sleepy now. So next time, that's what I do. I just play some clips. That testimony may be too rough for y'all, or I might just take some notes from the transcript and come back with my own take and play clips on top of that. So, but yeah. But I appreciate y'all coming through. I appreciate y'all checking out the channel. If y'all don't mind, make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for me. And I'll catch y'all next time. Deuces.